Adam here from the Walzer Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is compare a couple of trucks. Now next to me here we have the Nissan Frontier in the Pro-4X trim, and behind me we have the Toyota Tacoma in the TRD Pro trim. So what we'll do is look at the exterior, some of the stuff inside, and see which one might be best for you. Okay, so let's start with the Nissan Frontier. Now for 2022, this vehicle did go through a full refresh from about a 16-year span, and the Frontier has been in the lineup for a long time now. It's reliable, it's dependable, and now this good-looking new redesign is an awesome addition to the Nissan lineup. So this is going to have a 3.8 liter V6, which is going to give you about 310 horsepower, and that's going to be good for about 6,200 pounds of towing. Now the Tacoma does tow a couple hundred pounds more in these configurations, but as you work through different configurations, whether it's the 6 or 5 foot bed on both vehicles, the towing does change a little bit. Now, both vehicles in the current trims that they're in only come in the crew cab with the 5 foot bed. Now there is going to be a 6 foot bed option on some of them, or the smaller access cab for both, but I like this configuration. It still gives you enough room to bring people with you, or the rear seats in both vehicles do fold down if you find yourself going on a camping trip and want to keep stuff inside, but the bed space is pretty great. Now this Pro-4X, I love this green color. It looks so cool with the black wheels, and it's got a ton of orange accents on the inside. But overall, like I said, that refresh made this a great vehicle for the Nissan lineup. You're gonna have a ton of Nissan safety features with this package as well, and this one also did add a few other packages that's mostly inside, but as far as off-road capability, this is gonna be a very capable truck if you do plan on hitting the trails. It has an electronic locking rear differential, it's gonna have 4-wheel drive, so like I said, if you're going off-roading or maybe you're just trying to battle those Minnesota winters, the Nissan Frontier is gonna be an awesome option for doing that. So with the convenience package in this model, you're gonna add a bunch of stuff to the bed of the vehicle. It's gonna have those side kind of adaptive rails if you wanna set up, maybe if you're hauling stuff around, or if you just wanna strap cargo down, it makes it super easy. This one also is gonna have a remote start built into the key fob, where on the Toyota, that would be run through the Toyota app. But let's hop over to that Tacoma, we'll take a peek at that one. Okay, so looking at the TRD Pro, obviously the Toyota pickup truck has been in their lineup for such a long time and has built a huge reputation for being very reliable, very trustworthy if you're out on the trail, or just daily use. You see these things very commonly with over 300,000 miles on them. Now this one we have here today is gonna have the 3.5 liter V6, which is gonna have 278 horsepower, which is a little down from the Frontier, but it does tow a couple hundred pounds more. So what makes the TRD Pro different? Now, obviously this is gonna have a fully different suspension, it's gonna have locking differentials, it's just gonna be a very capable off-road vehicle. Like I said, if you're planning on hitting the trail or doing a lot of camping, maybe you just want a vehicle that's amazing in the wintertime, this can provide that. Now, obviously this one you can just run in 2 or rear wheel drive, and it's gonna help you get a little bit better fuel economy. Now this one is gonna be a little bit down from the Frontier, but overall they're gonna be very similar, where this one has the 6-speed, the Frontier is gonna have a newer 9-speed, so it's gonna help you get a little bit better fuel economy when you're out on the road. But let's hop back over to the Frontier, we'll check out the interior. Okay, so now we're inside the Pro-4X, and I love it in here. It is such a departure from the previous Frontier. This new generation gives you a ton of technology, a ton of comfort, and all of the stuff you'd expect out of a pickup. Now, like I mentioned, this one does have a few different packages added into it. This one's gonna give the convenience package as well as the Pro package, so you're gonna have the Fender sound system in here, which sounds incredible. And now with that, with the infotainment screen, this is gonna be a little bit more brought up to date than compared to the Toyota Tacoma. Now you're gonna have Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto, and it's gonna have a great backup camera in here. There's actually a 360 camera, so it makes it really easy to park, or if you're on the trail, you can kind of see what's going on around you, and it makes it really easy to park. Now a few other things, this does have an onboard navigation. It's got a ton of stuff in here that makes it very convenient when you're on the road, plus all of the safety stuff that this package is gonna offer. Blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, lane departure warning. This is gonna have the adaptive cruise control. There's a ton of stuff in here to help keep you safe when you're on the open road, when you're eating up miles. Now beyond that, the Pro-4X makes the interior pretty cool. This one has the heated steering wheel with the orange stitching and the orange badging. That follows into the seats, and it's kind of got some different stitching patterns in here with the Pro-4X embossed in there, and it overall just looks super cool in here. Now, similar to the Tacoma, this doesn't have an automatic all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. You actually go from two-wheel drive to 4-high or 4-low. And like I said, this does have the locking rear diff. So if you do a little bit of off-roading, that's gonna be an awesome feature to have. Now, we always have our cell phones on us, right? And so this one is gonna have wireless charging, which is great. I love the location of it. You just drop your phone on, get it charging up. You still have plenty of room for cup holders and your shifter here. And everything just kind of falls into place of where you want it to be. It's all in an arm's reach. There's a bunch of buttons on the steering wheel. This one also adds the sunroof in here, which is really nice. And you do have a small window that opens in the back. For me, it's great for the dog. Open it up, let him look out. It's a pretty cool thing, or if you're hauling any larger items or wood, you can kind of stuff that through, but pretty cool stuff there. This one's also gonna have the plug in the rear, so if you have to charge anything, you can fire the truck up and you're gonna use that like a household outlet, which is pretty neat. Now in the back seat, there is a lot of room in this vehicle. It feels a little bit more spacious in here, is where it's very close to the Tacoma. I feel like I do have a little bit more room in here. The seats, Nissan always does awesome seats and they're super comfortable. And in the back, something that's not offered in the Tacoma is you are gonna have charging in the back here, which is nice if you got the kids or people in the back, they can keep their devices charged up. And there also is a center folding armrest back there with cup holders in it. So overall, the ride and drive, like I said, I've driven these enough now where you kind of get a feel for both. This one feels more comfortable on road. So maybe you don't plan on doing all that. You're like me, you just want to use this for the Home Depot run, or maybe you're towing a trailer around. This one has better on-road characteristics, where the Tacoma is definitely going to be a better feeling off-road vehicle. I know for years it's hard to argue that one's kind of the king of the mountain when it comes to off-roading or trail driving, but here in Minnesota, it seems like this one is going to be more than capable for the Minnesota winters, or maybe if you're going on fire roads. This is an awesome package with a ton of equipment that is definitely one you got to check out. But let's hop over to the Tacoma, we'll check out that interior. So now inside the TRD Pro, these are great trucks. Obviously there's a reason it's one of the highest held values in all of vehicles that are for sale. The Tacoma seems to hold its value the best, especially the TRD Pros. They're usually hard to get new. They just hold their value so well because they are so reliable. They're such great trucks at what they do, and it really is the class leader in this segment when it comes to just durability and everything else surrounding that. But inside the Tacoma, the first thing you notice from going to the Frontier to this, the infotainment definitely feels a little bit outdated, as well as some of the controls inside. Now for 24, there is an all-new Tacoma coming out, but for now, this one, I mean, it feels like it's been the same for a long time, and that's because it has, but it's because it works. You're still gonna have your dual zone climate control, push button start, and you've got your little 4-wheel drive select on here. So like I said, it's gonna be in 2-wheel drive most of the time, but you can just flip it when you're on the fly if you need 4-wheel drive or 4-low. And this one also is gonna have the MTS or the crawl control. So if you're doing some off-roading, that's a lot of capability there out of the TRD Pro. Again, I've got my phone, you've got wireless charging down here, easy to access, you can keep your phone out of the way, but this one does have Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. I mean, from there, heated seats in this one, but there isn't a heated steering wheel offered in the Tacoma models just yet. So this one, as far as the infotainment is concerned, you are gonna have the 360 or that trail camera in this one as well. It's not quite as crisp or clear as it was in the Frontier, but it definitely gets the job done. If you're trying to look for rocks, or if you're backing into a tight garage space, it's a pretty cool feature to have. Now this one also is going to have blind spot monitoring. It will have adaptive cruise control as standard. That's an option on the Frontier, where this one with the Toyota Safety Sense is going to come with that. You've also got lane departure warning. There's a ton of safety features in here, and it is an awesome feature. It's one of those things, if you haven't had before, the adaptive cruise control is really hard to give that back up. Now, as far as the seats are concerned, they're comfortable. Well, I feel like I'm sitting a little bit higher up. This feels more like a full-size truck with the larger hood and the hood scoop here, where that one feels more like a car. It feels like you have a little more visibility out of there. It just feels a little bit more spacious when you're inside. The back seats of the Frontier are going to give you a little bit more usability with those USB plugs, but there is plenty of room in the back. And again, those do fold down in the rear seats. So if you need to haul any camping gear, if you've got kind of some stranger items you don't want to put in the back, it just makes it a little bit easier there. I mean, it's hard to say something about the Toyota Tacoma that hasn't already been said, right? You can put hundreds of thousands of miles on these vehicles. The reliability and the reputation is really what makes the Tacoma so great. They're extremely capable, whether it's just day-to-day use or it's off-road use. I mean, both trucks are going to provide a ton of the same equipment. This one, like I said, is going to be a better off-road platform, or if you're into modifying or adding things, the support for the Tacoma is huge, where the new Frontier isn't quite there yet. But day-to-day usage and on-road usage, I think I prefer the Nissan Frontier. And as far as the price point is concerned, this is going to be quite a bit more expensive when looking at just the standard Pro-4X model. So this one is going to be in similar equipment, apples to apples, usually a few $1,000s more for what seems like older technology. I mean, the Frontier seems like a better bang for your buck, but the Tacoma, it's tried and true, it's proven. It's really hard to say, but I think you got to get out, drive them both, and see what you think. Okay, so that was just a quick overview of the Tacoma and the Nissan Frontier. Now, which one might be best for you? Really, it depends on what your style is. Maybe better off-road, maybe a little bit better on-road, but you gotta come out, drive them both, see what you think. Now, if you want more information, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by any one of our locations, and we'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.